Hey guys, welcome back to Vince Bell Custom. So today we're going to do a quick review on the Scale Color 75 paints I picked up at a Jersey Fest last year. I didn't do any real-time videoing on this for this video. I actually painted this on live stream for my Picarto channel. So if you guys ever get a chance, sign up on that, because you never know when I might pop on a stream, either that or YouTube, and paint up something and test out products. But I'll just give it a quick review on these paints and give you guys an idea for anyone that's out there that is getting into the hobby or is into the hobby and might want to try these paints. So I picked up this Faun Bust as well at the Jersey Fest. I'll link the garage kit review in the description and also the sculptor in case you guys want to check it out and some of his other works. But after I got the bust and I got these paints, they also gave me, the vendor gave me a thinner and a extender, and they told me that it works great with these paints. So I figured let's give it a shot and see what this does. So on my live stream, I started off with her skin tones, and I mixed up some of the acrylic thinner with some of the flesh tones. Now, not all the bottles are in the right order. I just kind of threw them back in the box, but I wanted to give her more of like this pinkish skin color, and I used some of these skin tones. And I was having a lot of trouble with the blending through an airbrush. I tried doing what I normally do with a lot of other mic brands from other companies, and I wasn't getting the flow and consistency I wanted. Even with the thinner, it felt like these paints were so thick and have such a thick consistency that thinning them down didn't want to go through the airbrush correctly. I tried a couple layering and I tried a couple times, and I really wasn't getting what I wanted. I think these paints are too thick for the airbrush, even with the thinner. I did try on another item off camera later that night, mixing some of this extender, even some of this acrylic thinner, and maybe some water and like a drop of alcohol on another item. And I found that the extender would make the item stay wet for like days. It really didn't cure it enough, and they only told me to put a drop in, and I put a very tiny drop in of the extender. I guess I'm just so used to being able to paint in layers with my other brands that I know I can handle the item right away. This thing just made things really too long to dry, and I didn't like it. But so as I was doing my live stream, I found that these paints weren't really going friendly enough through the airbrush. So instead of using the thinner and water, what I was doing, I used some garage kit paints that I use most of the time for my flesh tones, and I found that I was getting a good consistency then. So I was using the garage kit's paints as a thinner for these paints, and I was getting it thinned down, and I was getting colors that I wanted, and that's how I got the skin tone going. So I actually enjoyed that a lot more. So I think their thinner, for some odd reason, wasn't giving me what I wanted, but Garage Kit's paints and some of my other paints were actually thinning down these paints to where I usually like them. So it's kind of a weird experiment, but it worked out pretty well. So after I did her skin tone, I didn't get on the item for a couple months. When I went back, I figured, okay, let's start doing paintbrush work on her just to see how paintbrushing works compared to airbrushing these paints. And I found that using a paintbrush, this stuff was absolutely amazing. These things this paint goes on nice and smooth with a paintbrush. It goes over, like, what I did is I did all the roots and the vines on her first in like this like darkish brownish stuff. And then I did do a little bit of that on the roses. Then I decided when I went in with the roses with the white and the reds, it went right over the brownish stuff with no issues. It didn't seep through. It was nice and thick, and I liked that a lot. So I think paintbrush work with these Scale 75 is a definitely good thing. And I'm going to probably pick up more of these colors when I get a chance. And I'll probably use this for paint work. Like say if I'm working on the base of an item or rocks, or maybe even like this, I was working on flowers on this item. I think these paints work out really well. They go on nice and smooth. They dried very well, and I liked it. But there was one thing though that I did run into which I didn't like though after using the paintbrushes. I found that the paints, they say it's high durable paints, right? It says high durable paints right here. Even after I used the paintbrush work on her hair and her stuff, I found that even after a week, it still felt like it was like rubbery. It didn't feel like wet. It felt like rubbery. Like if you put your finger across this box, it's smooth. If you put your finger across her skin here, it's smooth. But when I used the paintbrush, it felt like it was grabbing and like it felt like wet almost. It's weird. So you can see it rubbed off here on her hair because I was doing a little bit of like testing with my finger. and it was rubbing off. So I was like, that doesn't seem right to me. So I said, okay, let me try one more thing. So I grabbed my tester's rattle can, and I sprayed my rattle can of testers over. Just I masked off her face though, and the tester's rattle can dull coat dried the hair to the point where it's nice and smooth now, and I don't have that rubbery wet feel, and it really cured up the hair really nicely. So I think that helped a lot. So I don't know if the Scale 75 has like a sealer paint or some kind of a sealer stuff. They probably do, but I never picked it up. But the Tester's dull coat worked out pretty fine for it, and I think it worked out no issues whatsoever. So that was pretty good. So I enjoy these paints. I think they're really well done. They're nice and thick. They go on smooth. There's only one dumb thing about these is when you open up some of these paints, some of them are already poked through the hole at the top. Like if you open this up, right? Some of them are already poked through the hole. Like this one isn't poked there. So that one right there hasn't been squeezed out yet. So if you're not paying attention, and I thought most paints are already poked there. I went with one of my bottles, I think it was like the purple one. I went and squeezed it, and I realized this piece popped out and all the paint came out of it. So that's one thing about these you have to realize is they don't poke the holes on the top of these. And that was just something stupid. But I'm so used to all my other paints are already ready to squeeze out of the bottle. But live and learn. But I didn't waste that much paint, thank God. I was able to salvage some of it. But other than that, I think it worked out pretty well. I enjoyed the paints. I'm definitely going to pick up more when I get a chance. They are going to be set aside from all my other paints, and I'm going to keep them in sets like this, or I'm going to dedicate a spot on my shelf for them for paintbrush only paints. These will be the paints that I know where if I need to do some brush work and I need something to go on really nice and smooth, I'll use these because I find that these work better than even Liquitex soft body, like this Liquitex soft body stuff. I like these paints too. You can thin these down really well, but sometimes these don't go on very well with a paintbrush, not like thick enough, but these Scale Color 75s go on amazing with a paintbrush. So I'm definitely going to add these into my paint sets. Next Jersey Fest, I think I'll maybe buy maybe 1 or 2 more sets, and I'll try to get, I'm going to try to get more like primary colors this time. I'll get like, red, blue, yellow, greens, and stuff like that. So I'll work on sets like those. So this way I can have a nice arsenal of these colors and work out pretty well. But I'm probably going to like, axe the thinner. I don't think I'll use the thinner, and I definitely won't use the extender anymore. Maybe someone at Jersey Fest I can just pass them off to who likes them. But for me, I think I'm just going to buy more of these colors, and it's going to be paintbrush only. So that's kind of my little review on it. Next time, if I pick up more paints, I'll probably do another live stream on them, and maybe at that time I'll record it and save it. But it worked out pretty well. So that's kind of my review. Hopefully it helped you guys out. You can see kind of like my outcome of like working with these paints with this. Next, hopefully we'll try some more paints after Jersey Fest, and we'll see what else I can come up with. And then look out for a video down the line where I'm going to take this Faun Bust, put her in a cup. We're going to use some clear resin, and we're going to make it look like she's in a water pond, like kind of little clear resin around her. But that's another video down the line. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.